We are Jim and Christine Remiger. We both grew up in good Christian homes and were saved and baptized at a young age. We both have been surrounded by missions throughout our lives. We have participated in mission trips and witnessed our friends and family also experience the differences missions has on your life.
Jim has been to Africa multiple times, teaming up with ABWA missionaries Ted and Diane Weinberg. His first trip was in 2001, where he spent a month in the Gambia, located in West Africa. It opened his eyes to the poverty and the spiritual neediness surrounding him. Nearly 98% of Gambians are Muslim. All around him, people were going through the religious motions, but not experiencing a true relationship with God. He, along with his team, performed hospital maintenance and other odds and ends projects.
In 2005, I spent 6 weeks in South Africa helping construct the Mount View Baptist Church. I remember being overwhelmed with the contrast between the richest of the rich and the poorest of the poor living across the street from each other. At Mountain View, the people came together to serve and worship, no matter their wealth or ethnicity. During that trip, God started calling me into this ministry. The following year, I traveled back to the Gambia for 3 months, where I worked to help construct a missionary house. During this trip, I was able to spend a week in the war-torn country of Liberia. During this week, I met a pastor who told me how terrible the Civil War had been to them personally. He shared with me the story of how he went back to his church one day and found the members of his congregation murdered there. Another pastor explained how he and his family were forced to live in the jungle while the rebels ransacked the surrounding villages. I had the opportunity to meet and witness to many people, including a young man named Muhammad. I was able to tell Muhammad about Jesus. Being a Muslim, he told me if I followed Jesus, I would lose my family, my friends, and my home. Then he turned and asked me if it was worth it. I told him it was worth the cost to follow Jesus. But after that conversation, I thought to myself, what had I given up for Jesus?
We are Leroy and Hanky Weber from Moses Lake, Washington. I've known Jim since 2006 when we met him in the Gambia and worked together. Believe that Jim, no matter what job you give him or he is on, he would give 125%. And he's always willing to share the gospel. Remember in the Gambia, he was witnessing to this one young man, a Muslim, and he I think the fellow even got saved before they left. Most people that go to a third world country would not come back the same.
We were married in 2007. We spent the first 6 months of our married life teaming back up with the Weinbergs in South Africa. We had the privilege of finishing the church project Jim started in 2005. I spent my time helping Diane cooking for work teams, attending Bible study, doing beach evangelism, serving in a day camp, building relationships with South African women, also working on the building project as well. Jim was busy working on the building project, doing inner-city evangelism, leading the church's youth group, and started a mountain climbing ministry with dozens of individuals. When we left South Africa, we both knew that we had found our calling.
God has called us to team up with the Weinbergs, who have been doing missions in Africa for about 13 years. While in Africa, we'll be assisting on building projects, coordinating teams coming from the U.S., witnessing to nationals, and much more. The projects are piling up and the builders are few. Would you prayerfully consider partnering with us in this ministry? We are excited to see what God has in store for our family.